Hey guys, what's going on? Mike the Caveman Q here again, Paleo Problem Island, MikeTheCaveman.com. And today's question is, how much water should you really be drinking? Now, as usual, it's a little bit more nuanced than the general recommendations you get. Now, everybody in the health and fitness world, you always hear 8 ounce glasses of water a day, so about half a gallon. Now, that number, where did it come from? Well, there were the first recommendations dietarily from the government around 1945, and that's where it came from. Now, interestingly enough, that number actually originally included from food sources, and that's something that we don't really consider that often. Fruits and vegetables, most of them are majority made of water. Things like coffee and tea are 99.5% water. Now, yes, the caffeine has a little bit diuretic effect, but it's still mostly water. Now, even things like meats, like salmon and other meat, will have some water in it as well, decent amounts. Now, that does have a play. But besides those sources, when it comes to actually how much water you should be taking in, it varies. A lot of factors come into play, such as what's the temperature and climate like, how active are you, what does the rest of your diet look like, and it really comes down to your thirst mechanism. Now, most people, you'll hear that if you're thirsty, it's too late. But no. Thirst is an excellent evolutionary mechanism that has allowed us to survive this long. You start to experience thirst when there's a rise in the concentration of particles in your blood. It's usually between 2 to 5% when you get to the excessive thirst end. And when those particles rise, that usually starts to say that you're starting dehydrated. So are you inherently dehydrated when you feel thirst? No, it's not too late, but that's definitely a good barometer of when you should be drinking. The only exception to that, though, would probably be in really active high-level athletes, in which case you're going to want to be drinking at pretty much all times. The caveat to that is, though, you're also going to want to make sure you have enough sodium in there. That's the reason why Gatorade exists. It's water plus sodium plus carbohydrate. They're all things to make sure that water is stored and adequate in your body. So, does that mean you should start drinking Gatorade? Nope, definitely not. Way too much garbage in there these days. But, should you be getting in some sodium and potentially some carbohydrate when you're working out really hard? Yep. So how can you do that? Well, one way would be like coconut water. The maple syrup waters you see these days, get some extra minerals in there. You can actually go and add some maple syrup to your water, some quality organic maple syrup. You can add other types of simple sugars to your water, but make sure, more important than that, is you're actually adding salt to it too. So pink salt, Himalayan salt, Redmond real salt. Those are all excellent ideas because you're going to get sodium plus other electrolytes in there. You put it to your water and that will help with storage. Now, if you're not that active, then what's the best bet? Pure water. Pure water will help you out, but you should also be considering your other sources. If you're eating lots of quality fruits and vegetables, you're going to be getting in a lot of water. If you're drinking your bone broth, like I always say, you're going to be getting in water. If you're drinking tea, even coffee, you'll be getting in water. Other things, like your fermented foods, like pickle and sauerkraut juice, as crazy as it is, if you're dehydrated, that's an amazing source of getting both in the salt and other minerals, as well as water. Pickleback shots, everybody's getting drunk. Probably the best way to prevent a hangover. Make sure you're doing picklebacks as your main drink of choice. Maybe not. Either way, drinking that sauerkraut or pickle juice is not the worst idea, particularly if it's a real one, you got from a farmer's market, it's raw and fermented. That's a great idea. So your biggest takeaways are, remember you're getting water from your food sources, but be aware of how thirsty you are. Listen to your body. That's why I always talk about is listening to your body. If you're thirsty, go drink something. If you're not thirsty, you don't have to necessarily drink something just because you think it's a healthy thing to do, unless you're an athlete, in which case you are going to want to drink a whole bunch more with sodium and potentially some carbohydrate. So getting your coconut waters, getting your pickle juice and your sauerkraut juice, great stuff, but pure water. Lots and lots of pure water. That half gallon, that 8 ounces, is a safe number to go with. If you are very active and it is very hot out, like right now we have this heat wave going on, you're going to want to do probably close to a gallon, but that's not a hard number, okay? If it's really hot, you're sweating a lot, be aware, drink some more. If you're thirsty, particularly. If not, don't worry about it. Listen to your body. Follow the signals. So, hopefully that helped you out. You know what to do. Like and subscribe down below. Share it with your friends. Head over to Instagram and Twitter and follow me at Mike the Caveman. Over on Facebook at Paleo Problem Island. And of course over on MikeTheCaveman.com. That being said, enjoy this beautiful day. It is really hot. Drink your water. And I'll see you tomorrow.